Hi everyone. In this session, we're going to learn about creating a free tier AWS account. So AWS provides a free tier options wherein you can take a benefit of many services. So if you look into this website, you can see that these are all some of the free services which are available by Amazon for the first year of your subscription. So this is a very good option if you're trying to learn something about AWS, build some projects, so you won't be charged any money for these services. And these are sufficient hours actually, like Amazon DB 20 GB is a lot. And you also get to set up Amazon EC2. EC2 is basically more like a server or a remote computer which you can build. And along with that, you can just go through this link. You will get a lot of details about this, and you also have 1 million SNS notification. So that's a lot if you want to do any projects. Okay. So with that said, let me just show you how to create a free tier account. So visit the website aws.amazon.com. Then you'll be presented with this screen. While you are here, click on create AWS account. This will take you to this particular screen. Here, make sure you put in an email address which you have never used to create an AWS account. Okay. In my case, I'm going to type in. So I paused the video for a while and I put in all this information. Okay. And account name is something which will be added to your account URL email, and which you can always change it later on. I'm going to show you in the video how you can change it. Okay. So once you have added all this information, just click continue, and it will ask for security question. That is, just type in. Okay. So while we are here, we can make it as account type as a professional or personal. Since it's more for learning for personal use, I'll just make this as personal. And you can just type in your number if you want, a phone number. So I just paused this video for a while and added all this information. Make sure you enter the right address and the state, city, and postal code, because eventually this will be checked against your credit card details which you provide later on. Okay, so here you need to enter your credit card information, and I'm going to pause this for a while. So I added all this information, and now I'm going to click on verify and add. That should take you to this screen, and it's going to ask me how do they want to send the verification, and I'll just make it a text message for now, and I'll put in the phone number and ask for security question again. Okay, and just click send SMS, and I should get an SMS message. Let me just check my phone. So I got my verification code as 3056. Now I'm going to click on verify code. Perfect. So it's been verified. You can click on continue, and here you get the option of choosing free tier against the monthly plan. So since it's more for learning AWS, I would select the free tier. But if you want to go with a different option, and feel free to pick up different one, I'll just go with the free. Awesome. While we are here, we can personalize the experience. So we can say, what's your role? You can always say architect. I'm interested in what. I'll just pick up Internet of Things, and just click submit, and you should be good to go. So now it will take a while to activate the account, and you should receive an email when this is complete. So here is the email I got. So initially I got a sign up confirmation which says that I have the account access. And remember, sometimes it takes a few minutes, sometimes it might take an hour. So have patience. At the same time, I got one more confirmation email saying that hey, everything is good. For the next 24 months, you will have the free access to AWS compute, blah blah blah, all these details. Okay. And now that we have the confirmation, let's go back to the AWS console and try to log in, and I'll click on sign into console. And since we created a root user account, I need to log in as a root user. Okay, so I'm going to enter the email address which I provided while creating the account. That is nothing but, okay, and I click next. Okay, I'm missing H here. Okay, and I'm going to enter the password. There you go. So I logged in as a root user. So this is very important to remember. Do not ever try to log in with root user account to your AWS console. Always create different account which has minimum privileges, and then you can use it for all your creating the services. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So while you're here, you can change the region. So I usually pick North Virginia because almost all of the service is available in that region. Sometimes Amazon does not release all the services in all the regions. So Virginia is something wherein if any new services shows up, it's for sure going to show up in North Virginia. So I usually pick up North Virginia. And so this is the account name I gave it before while creating it. It says learn with BP. Okay, so while you're here, click on this one and go to my account. Okay, and here you can see that this has all the details which you provided. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is creating users, right? So for that, click on services and search for IAM. Okay, and this service is basically helps in creating groups, roles, policies, and users. As you can see, we have no users obviously because we haven't created any user. And before creating the users, it's always good to create a group. Okay, so I'll go to group and click on create new group. Okay, so I'll make this group an admin group and provide to this group more of an admin kind of roles. Okay, so then I click on next step, and here I can select the admin access. At the same time, I'll also provide the billing access so that the user who belongs to this group can also see the billing information. And click on this and click next step. And as you can see, this is the group and these are the policies which we are going to add. Okay, and click on create group. Awesome. So now what we will do is we'll create a user and add that user to admin group. Okay, and I click on users. And while we are here, let's also create one more group before we add a user. This is basically targeting a developer kind of a role. Okay, so click on new group, and this time we'll make it like developer. So developer doesn't need to have more of admin privileges. So what I will do is I'll provide more of a programming kind of a access. So maybe they need full access to S3 bucket. So I'll click S3 bucket, and maybe they could be working on SQS, and so I'll give them full access to SQS. Maybe they might work on SNS notification, so I'll provide them full access to SNS as well. Then I'll select the next and create the group. Okay, so now we are going to create user to this group, basically the admin group. Okay, so that I don't have to log in every time with admin privileges. So go to the users screen and create add user, and here you can give the user a new name. I'll say admin user. Okay, and it's going to ask you if you want to provide programmatic access or console access. So since I'm going to provide this user both programmatic access as well as console access, I'm going to check in both. So what actually do you mean by programmatic access is they won't be able to log in through the browser like this and look into the services if I enable only programmatic. So if I enable console access, that means they can log into this browser and access it. Okay, so do you want to make it auto generated password, or you can even make it custom password? I'll just make it custom password, and I'll put in a new password here. Okay, and it also gives an option, does the new user needs to recreate the password after signing. It's always good so that they have the freedom of creating their own password. And I'll just click check this mark and click on permissions. So here you can create a new permission or you can add them to an existing user. As I showed you before, I created two groups, one for admin, one for developer. So I can just add them to one of these group. Okay, and then click next tags, and you can skip this, and it's just going to ask you to review, and it will say create user. Okay, so remember this, when it creates a user, it's going to create an access key and a secret key. Okay, access key and secret key both are required when they are trying to do a programmatic access, basically when they are trying to talk to S3 bucket or SQS or SNS, anything. If they want to do with the programming part with the AWS services, they need this. And this secret key you can display only when they create an account for the first time. Okay, afterwards you won't be able to see the secret access key. So it's always good to download it. So I'll just download it for now. It just saves it in my download folder. And now you can send an email to the user. So if I click on this, it's going to open my email client, and I'm going to show you here how it looks. So it looks like this. It's going to say that, hey, to the new user, it will say if you can just put in their address in the to email, and you can send this and tell them that, hey, this is your new user, and just log in. And you have to provide them the password as well. Okay, because you have to give it to a different channel so that it's more secure not to provide it in the email. So once they click on this and log in with this particular username, it will ask them to recreate the password. I'm going to show you that actually. And now we have this, and I can click close. And so now we created a user called admin user. So what we could do is we can log out and try to log in with a new user. Okay, I'll click on sign out, and now I'm going to the link which I provided before. Okay, so this is the link. So what I will do is I'll just copy this, and I'll go to the browser, copy paste, and enter. Okay, so this is what you see when you enter it. Okay, so here it's asking you for IAM username, that is nothing but admin user which you created, and enter the password which you created initially when you were creating the user, and click on sign in. Okay, there you go. So since we checked the option there saying that the new user should create a new password, they are displayed with this option wherein they have to create the new password. So enter the old password and add in a new password now, and confirm the password change. There you go. So you are inside the AWS account. As you can see, you're logged in as an admin user. And if you go in here, you should be able to see the billing dashboard. Okay, so this is always good to have a separate account. As I mentioned before, this is very critical because if you start logging in with the root user account, then if for some reason somebody gets hold of it, then they can easily misuse your account. Okay, so always create a new user based on the access level you need. If you're doing a programmatic access, it's always good to create a new account based on the minimum privileges it needs. I could be referring you to these videos in my later sessions. So it's always good if you could create this account by yourself and have it ready.